Messi's Mirror, a story of conscious victory. Messi wasn't his real name, but it's what everyone called him, not because he was untidy, but because his life felt like a mess. Born in a forgotten town where dreams were considered foolish and emotions were weakness, Messi had learned to shrink himself early. He was the quiet kid in the corner, the one who never raised his hand, who walked with his head down, and who flinched every time someone raised their voice. Teachers said he had potential, but potential felt like a joke when your heart was always heavy and your mind always loud. Every night, Messi stared at the cracked mirror in his room. "Who are you?" he'd whisper, but the mirror never answered. At 17, after his mother passed and his father drifted into silence, Messi found himself alone not just in his home, but in his being. He worked part-time jobs, ate whatever was cheap, and moved through life like a ghost wearing a name tag no one read. But something began to stir. Not loudly, but softly like a flicker in the dark. It started the day he found an old notebook in a trash pile behind a bookstore. Its cover read, "Everything begins within." Curious, Messi opened it. Inside were handwritten pages, thoughts, dreams, quotes, pain, and hope. Some stranger had poured their soul into it, and something clicked. If they could write this, maybe I could feel again too. That night, he picked up a pen for the first time in years and wrote, "I don't know who I am, but I want to meet him." From that day forward, every night became a conversation with himself. He wrote letters to his pain. He named his fears. He argued with his past. He forgave himself not all at once, but piece by piece. He stopped calling himself Messi. He started calling himself Becoming. He began running in the mornings not to get fit, but to run towards something. He read books. He watched the sunrise. He cried without apology. He even smiled, just a little, and sometimes without reason. Years passed. He wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. But one day, he stood on a small stage at a youth center, holding that same old notebook. A crowd of broken-hearted teens stared up at him, and with trembling hands, he opened it and said, "I used to be Messi. I thought my life had to stay that way, but now I know pain is not permanent. Darkness isn't home, and if you're breathing, you haven't lost. You're still becoming. You're still worthy." They clapped. Some cried. One whispered, "That's me." And later that night, alone again, he stood in front of his mirror, now repaired, frame painted gold. He looked into his own eyes and smiled. "There you are," he said. "I knew you'd come back."